Christmas Rescue. Lady had just arrived at Tidmouth Yards with the mail trucks. Percy was there to collect and deliver the mail. "Thanks for collecting these," said Percy. "It's only a couple of days before Christmas. There must be important parcels in here." "No problem," replied Lady. "Driver says there's a lot of post for the village. You may need an extra truck for it all." Suddenly Toby rushed into the yard. "Thomas is in trouble. He's trapped in a snowdrift, and the village is cut off by snow." "Thomas in trouble?" cried Lady. "I'm on my way." And she went off to find some workmen. "You better leave those trucks for now, Percy. The village needs help." "Right," said Percy. "I'll find Terence. I'm sure he'll help." "I'll go to Dryall," added Toby. "We'll need Harold too." And Toby and Percy set off. Toby soon steamed into Dryall Station, right next to Harold's airfield. Toby rang his bell. "Emergency, Harold. The villagers need your help. They're stranded." "We're so," replied Harold. "I like an emergency to keep me warm." And he buzzed away. Toby then headed straight to the yard. Meanwhile, Lady had found some workmen and they agreed to help. They climbed into a work coach and Lady set off towards Ulfstead. She didn't stop until she found Thomas. More snow had fallen on top of him and he was more stuck in the snowdrift. "Don't worry, Thomas, we'll get you out." The workmen and the engine crew began to dig, while Lady shunted the trucks to a nearby siding. Then a strong cable was tied between the two, and Lady pulled Thomas free from the snowdrift. "What happened to your snowplow?" Lady demanded. But then she noticed that Thomas didn't look cross anymore. "Thank you, Lady. I'm surprised you helped me after my attitude today." "Nothing stops me from helping a good friend in need. Now I need your help. Together we can get to the village." They both agreed. Lady coupled up to the front of the trucks, while Thomas buffered up behind. The two engines then battled their way through the snow, using Lady's snowplow to get through the snowdrifts. At last they reached the village. Harold was already there, busily dropping food to the people below using parachutes. When they reached the village station, Percy arrived with more workmen and Terence the tractor. Terence was unloaded from his flatbed and quickly got to work. "Lovely stuff," he said as he pushed the snow aside. It took a long time, but soon the roads and the tracks were cleared, and Thomas's trucks were unloaded. The children cheered when they saw the beautiful Christmas tree. "Well done, Percy, and Thomas, and Lady," cheered the villagers. "You're the best Father Christmas this village has ever had." "What's a Father Christmas?" asked Percy. "How have you not heard of him?" asked Thomas. "Father Christmas is someone who drops presents down chimneys at Christmas time," said Lady. Percy looked at his funnel. "I wonder if—" "No," laughed Thomas. "Chimneys, Percy, not funnels. Which reminds me, your post train is still back at the yards, isn't it?" Percy hurried back to fetch it. Just then Toby arrived with Henrietta. "Here's lots of hot drink and food for the villagers," he whistled. Later that day, the Fat Controller came to see the branch line engines in their shed. Thomas was worried. What will the Fat Controller say about my broken snowplow? But the Fat Controller wasn't cross. He was pleased. "Well done, all of you. You've saved Ulfstead from a frozen Christmas. And Thomas, you were very brave to handle that snow without a plough." "Thank you, sir." "As a reward, I'll see to it that you get a new plough and a new coat of paint." "Oh, thank you, sir. But I couldn't have done it without Lady. She rescued me from the snow." "Then you both can have a new coat of paint." Lady was speechless. That night in the sheds, the two engines made up and forgave each other. Soon Christmas Eve arrived. On that night, all the engines had gone back to their sheds except Toby. The villagers had made a plan to thank the engines. They loaded decorations and parcels into Henrietta, then they set off through the moonlit countryside. All the engines were fast asleep in the sheds, as Toby ran silently into the yard. He had no idea what the villagers were going to do, but he knew it was going to be a big surprise. When the engines woke the next morning, they could not believe their eyes. The sheds had been decorated and a small Christmas tree stood in a corner. Presents were underneath it, all addressed to the engine crews and their families. "Wow!" cried out Percy. "Father Christmas does come to engines after all." Toby decided not to say a word. Thomas was in a jolly mood too. "I've always did believe in the spirit of Christmas. I guess even a Scrooge like you loves a white Christmas," joked Lady. Then the two engines looked up. Between them, tied to the roof beams, was a large bunch of mistletoe. Toby and Percy laughed, as Thomas and Lady's face blushed bright red. The four branch-line engines cheered and agreed that it was really a happy Christmas. Happy Christmas everyone, and a happy new year to you and your family.